Hey guys, this is Coach Joe coming to you from inside the Holy Cronut, and tonight I'm bringing you the CWL Rising Season 4 quarterfinal matchup of the Holy Cronut versus Sjana. And we did not do as well at 9v9 this week as typical of us. We only did 56%, 18 for 32 this week. They were 18 for 29, so slightly better than us. We went 4 for 15, 10v10, which is actually our worst in a few weeks here, but it was enough to win. They were 3 for 17. They actually went 2 for 2, 11v11, and we were 0 for 1, and so you ask yourself, how did you win, losing the 11v11 battle 2-0? What it comes down to is that 11v11 triples are not extra stars. They are extra percent. They're only extra stars if you clear all the 10s. If you 10v10 triple or 11v10 triple, you're clearing them, but it doesn't give you extra stars. If you triple all the 11s and leave 3 Town Hall 10s open, you'd still get an 87. Better percentage, because presumably 10v10 gives you a higher percentage in a fail than 10v11 double would. But anyway, we cleared all the 10s. They didn't clear 3 of them. We cleared none of the 11s, and they cleared 2 of them. We come out 87 to 86, and they actually had us by a lot on percentage. A dip fail ended up being the difference, and if that hadn't happened, we would have been forced to go 11v11 twice, hoping for 1 triple and 1 high percentage double, or 2 triples to win it, and that ended up not being necessary. Now I'm going to bring on my co-host for this recap, Schneebly. How you doing tonight, Schneebly?
I'm doing pretty good. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining me. Any general thoughts on this war that seemed to be kind of a roller coaster?
Man, this war was close and back and forth. I think they started out early on with 2 10v10 attacks, and I think that got us a little bit nervous knowing we had to come back from that. And like you said, they're 11v11s. It was a close war. I think that we were probably more nervous about this war than we had been in a while once those started rolling in.
Yeah, those 11v11 attacks were fantastic. Hats off to them. Just great attacks against bases we'd tested a lot, and yeah, so just hats off to them for that. And yeah, I mean, if they'd gotten one more 10v10, we probably lose that. We would have had to go really hard 11v11 at the end, and I don't know. But okay, so we're going to go into the first hit that we're going to recap, and that is Napoleon with a fresh 9v9 triple using a stoned hobo attack. And on this one, one of the things to note for me is this first golem he's got up here at 10 o'clock. His intent was that the wizards would move forward and take out that wizard and archer tower compartment. And I think he just puts his wizards over too far, and they end up not being able to move fast enough for the golem health. And then, of course, the golem walks away, and the archer just picks everything off. But his bottom was fantastic, the bottom end of his funnel.
Yeah, and that top would have been real smooth except for that sneaky Tesla there, because the golem was in range up until then.
Yeah, that Tesla pulled him away, and of course there's a giant bomb right next to it that ended up eliminating the wizards that were backing up the golem. But he's really smart. He doesn't drop. He dropped a few hogs. It didn't work out. So then he waited for the golemites to step up before dropping any more. And he ends up getting that end. And if you look, his bottom and middle were so good. He just used his king ability on the back end of the base.
Yeah, and he's just pushing through, and you see it up at the top. He drops hogs up there to take out that Tesla. So that's incredibly great awareness, being able to see that while everything else is going on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he must have been looking for it to pick it out like that. And now it's just a matter of how many hogs can I swag. He's trying. He's got 8 left, trying not to drop any more, and he unfortunately hits a giant bomb and has to drop 1 more hog.
And then, just for good measure, he drops that 1, and I think he just spams the rest at the end.
Yep. Yeah, and it was great identification that plan would work. The compartments are kind of situated in a way to make the jump value be not as good, but the problem is that the two sides of his funnel, even though he didn't get as much on the top end as he wanted, because he got the bottom end so well, once he had the jump down, there's just nowhere else for the troops to go, except exactly where he wants them to go. Second hit we're going to show is Sjana Bone, with also a fresh 9v9 triple, and this one's a Shattered Hog attack, so no bowlers, and so he enters at the top, and it's kind of obvious. I don't know. Do you think the Teslas would be there in the 4 openings where it's obvious?
I would think so, personally. Just trying to troll, and that's what you do a lot at Town Hall 9, is you try to troll bases. You may only get 1 defense, but that's what you need at Town Hall 9.
Here's the problem, and I touched on it a little bit in the last recap. A lot of these Town Hall 9s are splitting the King and Queen up, making it so that you can't get both of them with a kill squad. If you're going to do a hog attack, when in doubt, get the Queen. Because we've seen a million times the King can be more or less ignored. You just have to make sure that you have enough hogs to survive marching through them. It's a lot harder to get through the Queen. So he's funneled this with a baby dragon, 2 golems. He's got his heroes in with a poison. Queen's gone, CC's gone. He's taken out 1 wizard tower, 3 of the Teslas. He's going to get this Expo and another wizard tower with his Queen. And the relatively low number of troops he used on his kill squad leaves him with 1 million hogs and 3 heals. And at this point, with 2 heals left, what's there left to get?
Yeah, and then the way this base was made, too, down at the bottom, you can see it now, that all of his hogs are going to funnel upward towards that bomb tower right here. So these spells are really, go perfectly and great value out of them because of that. And then they swing back down and get the Archer Tower afterwards.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem with this base is really the Teslas need to not be so obvious. And I think he only hit like 2 spring traps with his hogs. I mean, why aren't the spring traps down at the bottom half of the base? Did you think they would kill squad into the King and leave the Queen alone? You couldn't possibly think that. So the spring should be all along the bottom there. He's got the holes for them. They're just not there.
Yeah, I mean, if there would have been all 5 spring traps there, then that could have potentially thrown away most of his hogs and, cost him the win.
It's hard to say. The third one we're going to show is actually one of yours, Schneebly. This was actually a fresh 10v10 Falcon Punch.
All right, yeah. So this one, we were brainstorming a couple things on it where to come in with a Falcon. I actually wanted to do a top, and some of the clanmates convinced me to come in this way. And the idea was to try to walk from 3 to 6 and stay out of that Inferno range. And we were a little concerned the Teslas would be there and pull the Queen up towards the Inferno. But we figured at that point, worst case, you pop the ability. It's a level 1 Inferno, and you keep on rolling. But you can see the baby dragon got great value up there, and Queen didn't come anywhere close.
Yeah, I like the idea of adding a wizard to that baby dragon and just keeping it far enough away so that the healers won't move up.
Oh, yeah. And then you got the King doing the funnel on the left side, and that got way more value than I thought that it was going to. So right here, I was kind of eyeballing it, figuring out what to do. And I knew I would have to pop the Rage whenever I got to the King here, because I always bring a skeleton spell whenever I'm doing Falcon. It's obscenely important, in my opinion.
And so I was watching this live, and my concern at this point was what's left is spaced out so much. How is he going to use his spells to maximize his value? And you did get kind of an awkward entry here.
Yeah, you see the Valks kind of went to the right and Bowlers to the left, and then I hit a spring trap there, threw some of them, and that probably wasn't the best placement of the first Rage there.
Right. You were trying to push them through the correct wall because you wanted to get both Inferno towers, and if they didn't go middle, the Queen wasn't going to do it.
Right, and if you see the defense on that left corner wall by the Inferno, they almost went in there. But then I love this bowler over here just spanking that Inferno by itself. It was great.
Now you do at this point that bowler with the 2 healers on it. He ends up tanking this Expo for the rest of the attack. As soon as it targets him, it doesn't target anything else the rest of the attack.
Yep. So and I didn't notice that in the middle of the raid. I was paying attention up here to trying to get those balloons down to take those defenses because I was a little nervous at this point. I wasn't sure exactly what was going to happen.
Right,
and I did.
At that point, when your Valks break out, you want your queen to stay with the Valks. If they went toward the wizard tower, fine, and if they went outside, fine. But you need your queen to stay with them.
Right, and then I brought a few hogs here at the end because I figured one air D would stay up, so it may come in hand. You know, on a non-max base, you don't really need that many Valks to bust through all of this. And, you know, most of Falcon Punches, it's a spray and pray, and then you just adapt as you go. And with a lower tier base, that's typically pretty easy to do if you have an idea what you're doing.
Right, so do you usually take 50 spaces of cleanup, whether it's loons or hogs or a mixture?
I usually only do 8, and I, for the most part, prefer loons. So if I'm looking at a base and there's air Ds that are staggered, I'll try to get all those air Ds, and then, you know, that way I can use loons on the backside.
Okay, yeah, because I see people bring none, and I see people bring a lot, and really it's just a matter, I guess, of how much you think your Valks can take before they get lost.
Well, and a lot of it is actually the bowlers, because if it's a very, very, you know, compartmentalized or very, very close, mushed up together base, then the bowlers get in and they just wreak havoc. So you don't actually bring more Valks, you bring more bowlers to try to maximize that damage you get in the core. But with the one spread out, it's typically better to, you know, maybe lower the amount of Valks you get and have that cleanup.
The last one we're going to show is LA Ice with a cleanup 10v10 triple. This was scouted, and then this was the second 10v10 attempt on the base. The first attempt, the queen went the wrong way, and as this gets going, you'll see what her goal is here. But he has very high hopes for how much she's going to take, and she gets it.
Yeah, and she steps up perfectly, the perfect pathing there, and just barely staying out of that Inferno range.
Yep, I mean that drop. I gotta imagine. I didn't talk to him about it, but I gotta imagine he dropped her in a very specific place, and then he does a great job of getting this wizard to clear out outer buildings to keep her closer to the wall, because with that kind of indent in the base, the dimple, she's gonna step in and take out a whole lot of value here.
Oh, yeah, and it worked out even better than you would think, because I think his original plan was to wrap around, then get the CC and queen and all that. But she steps up, and he just does it all right here. You know, why not?
Tried to get away without using the queen ability. And, I mean, he didn't need it, so yeah, just use it there. There isn't a spot later where he needs it.
Right, the only time he may have needed it was the Inferno, but you'll see he doesn't really need it there either.
Yeah, as soon as the Inferno's about to target her, he just goes into his loon phase. So he gets this AD down. That's the key point. And here come the loons.
Yeah, and at this point, I think we were on voice, and I mean, all the loons coming down, the queen's still up, healers. It just wasn't even close after this.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, he's lost like one loon. He's still got 3 hastes and a heal left. I mean, this is over. Yeah,
he probably could have swagged something if he really wanted to, but I guess CWL playoffs isn't where you swag.
No, that's where Napoleon swags.
Yeah, and this was just, you know, beautiful through and through, and I think it's one that LAI's called out early on. He came up with this plan and, you know, wanted to execute it, knew it would work.
Yeah, we had 2 bases that we called immediately. This one, and there was another one that we did I guess it was a form of 10v10 Skelly Donut.
Yeah, that
we knew right away. And that one was a fresh triple. So, you know, just a few bases that really spoke to us.
Oh, yeah.
So that's it for the quarterfinal recap. We have coming up this weekend, the semifinals versus Clash Warriors. We're all really excited. We're working really hard on bases this whole week. Any final thoughts on this war or any shout-outs you want to give to Sjana?
No, it was just an absolutely wonderful war. And I guess a shout-out to Nubs. He's one of my buddies that we've been looking forward and wondering if we were going to get to play in the playoffs. And I had the opportunity, I definitely would have tried to attack him, but it just didn't make sense.
Right. So, yeah, congrats to them on a great season. They actually came out division winner of one of the toughest divisions in Rising this season. They had Sky, who of course got banned for being modders, so winning that division is impressive. They also had Ozjax, our arch rivals for this season. So quite the division to come out on top. And I'll tell you, if you're going to have two 11v11 triples in a very short week, because they didn't have much time to prepare, it just hats off to them. Excellent war. If they'd beaten us, I wouldn't have been salty about it at all. So, that's all I got to say about that. So thanks for watching, guys, and I will catch you next week. Do you clash, and do you like music? Well, for the first time ever, the Holy Cronut has compiled all of its amazing music into a single album. Twig Jammin' is here with all of your favorite hits, like All the Time in the World. Theme from Class Ship Cruises. Picklebackin'.
Yo, it's cute and it's prime time. Pour that pickle brine, that shot low-key thick, call that a wine and dine. Ladies love to take 'em in, these dudes be sleeping too. Don't be overthinking, just fucking rip it. I sip in
and mow my lawn. I'm gonna mow my lawn. I'm gonna mow my lawn. It's gonna be the best lawn that you've ever seen. I'm gonna mow my lawn. All of these songs and more can be yours for the low price of $9.99. Call today and get yours. Supplies are limited. See website for complete details.